Discovery.
So professional that we have our own banner. A banner? I mean, what? Losers don't have banners. Thing is, we haven't got anything to stick it up with, so welcome to the podcast.
Yes, welcome to Cutting Through the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben. As always, I'm joined by Gaz.
Hello.
And Mike.
Hello.
And this week we're going to talk about the North Hollywood Shootout of 1997.
Yes, bit of true crime.
And it's, you know, it looks like it's a film, doesn't it? It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
all filmed. It's all news footage. It's 1997. There's police helicopters. There's news helicopters. They're all filming it.
Yeah.
You see someone actually die?
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched that little bit over and over again, actually. Not in some sick, weird way, just because it wasn't gory, and it's just, I've never seen anyone shoot themselves under the chin before with a handgun from enough distance that it's not gross. Yeah, you do just kind of crumple.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that.
Yeah. But first, let's say hello to some new listeners in different countries we've got around the globe. So, Italy, Switzerland, Ireland, the Russian Federation, Thailand, Germany, Canada, and of course the United Kingdom and the United States. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers. Especially the people in Russia.
Yeah, definitely.
Hi.
So, alright, so first, before we get to the main cut and thrust of it, we go through a bit of weird news, and this is stuff we found on the internet over the course of the last week or so.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
Right, what's the first one we got, Mike? Alright, who wants to take that one?
Go on then, I'll go for it. Penis Festival attracts thousands as giant phallus paraded through the streets.
Wow.
Enormous members, multicoloured phallic decorations and food shaped like the male anatomy all feature at the festival in Japan, which is also known as Honensai.
Is that an acceptable Japanese name to call your penis?
Ooh, Honensai.
To nickname it Honensai?
Penis-san.
Yeah, like that. Oh, Honensai. Thank you
I
for
thought that was
pleasurable
Mr.
afternoon.
Miyagi.
Oh, wax on. Wax up.
I can spunk on a fly mid-air.
Wow.
It'd probably be easier to catch it with a fucking chopstick. Like puts his special headband on to have a wank.
Gets rising sun headband.
He wanks in the crane position. So,
Anyway, moving on.
thousands of people, have flocked to a huge festival in Japan, and it is dedicated entirely to penises. Enormous members, multicoloured phallic decorations. Oh, I've just read that bit. I apologise. We are professionals.
Honestly.
Every year in March, residents and visitors of the Aichi, that place in
Prefecture.
Japan, thank you, flock to Komaki, north of Nagoya, to see a giant phallus carried through the streets. Men of an, quote, unlucky age. What would you classify it as an unlucky age? Is that old or young?
I don't know.
I guess it'll say.
Maybe like if you're a certain age, it's considered unlucky.
Maybe.
Well, anyway, men of that age, they carry a 2-metre penis carved from Japanese cypress and offer it to the shrine with prayers for a good harvest, flourishing of all natural things and fertility to the loved ones.
I don't know if I want to go around carrying a giant cock.
Well, if it's going to bring fertility to all the people
But
you
is
love,
it?
I don't know.
It doesn't make a difference at all. You just carry a massive cock around for no reason.
Could be worse. You could be like that Villa fan with a dodo stuck to his head.
Oh man, it is a big phallus.
It certainly is.
We're just.
It is a big one. It's mighty impressive, isn't it?
We're looking at a picture of it now, listener. 2 metres, although to be
It's
honest,
taller than me.
2 metres, they could have built a bigger one, couldn't they?
Well, they could have. That's what they've carved it out of wood.
If they were really going for it, like.
Yeah, they have carved it.
That's true. It's not papier mâché, is
No,
it?
no, it's not. I'm not going to float.
It'd be like a 2-mile one if you really try. Anyway, here's why they don't make a 2-mile one. This can be the penis can be incredibly hefty, weighing upwards of 400 kilograms and with a circumference of more than 100 centimetre, and is the one to which most tributes and prayers are paid. Originally, the statue was much smaller and attached to a representation of a samurai, but it has grew bigger over the years.
Yeah.
It's like mine.
Oh, brilliant. Lucky guests are able to give the wooden penis a kiss on the tip.
Wow.
Wow.
Only if you're lucky, though.
Fucking, I tell you what, it's the fucking patriarchy gone mad. Oh, why are we looking at this picture, Mike? We are looking at a picture of what appears to be a Western traveller, your typical travelling hippie type. You know the fucking type. They'll tell you about their travelling. And he's at this festival holding what I would describe as about a 3-foot long fake penis with, is that water squirting out of the end?
I think it is.
I hope it is.
Me too.
Well,
Yeah.
he's obviously enjoying it.
Having a whale of a time.
Well, not only is the star of the show a giant penis, but the streets are awash with all things phallic.
He's having a cock a hoop.
Hey! Visitors to the festival tucked into chocolate-dipped bananas, uncircumcised hot dogs. Hang on. An uncircumcised hot dog. Well, what's a circumcised hot dog look like?
The end chopped
You just
off, I
cut the
guess.
skin off. What's the point in that? Is that how Jewish people eat their hot dogs? I don't know. Oh, that hot dog's not kosher. Not till you take a tiny bit of skin off the end.
And
Anyway.
pork as well, they would eat it
Oh,
anyway.
Oh, yeah, shit.
Very good point. Of course, I'm not as ignorant as I make out on the show. I do that for comedy purposes, of course.
Yeah, don't try and sell circumcised hot dogs to Jews. Not a good business model.
Well, the parade featuring more penis tributes is followed by a street party with snacks, sake, and souvenirs. Yeah, I think we've got to the bottom of the story. We don't need to know anymore, do we? It's a big cock festival that's supposed to bring fertility to the land and to the people, I guess.
Yeah, why not? What the
Yeah,
hell?
well, I wonder if anyone still believes it or whether it's just like, hey, it's fun to carry around a big cock. And
Yeah, it's just like one of
cock
the carnivals, isn't
lollipops.
it?
Yeah,
You know.
the cock carnival.
It doesn't really do much, it's just, yeah, it's got the carnival.
Yeah.
It's free sake.
That's a good. Ooh, Iron Maiden have released a new beer, a sake infused lager,
Ooh.
which I have no idea what it's going to
No,
taste
neither
like.
have I.
It's called Sun and Steel.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's pretty mal.
up the irons. So, yeah, I think that concludes the Penis Festival story.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Moving on.
What the fuck, Japan?
Okay, I'll do this one. A woman, 44, has a stroke while nearing orgasm during oral sex.
Wow.
A woman suffered a stroke while receiving oral sex from her lover. The 44-year-old from West London was, quote, nearing orgasm when she passed out in the bedroom. She was rushed to hospital where doctors found a blood vessel that had burst inside her skull.
Fuck me. Doesn't sound very nice.
No.
Oh, it knows it's a stroke, but I mean, just hearing it described like that is...
Yeah. Medics at West Middlesex University Hospital and I don't know how to say that. I've never read that place.
Isleworth, maybe?
West London said the patient was unconscious for 3 minutes after first suffering a headache during oral sex. And her partner, whose gender is unknown, said that they had noticed her body was stiff. What says that for? Whose gender is unknown? Who gives a shit? Oh, whatever.
That's true.
On closer history, taking the patient reported nearing orgasm while receiving oral sex from her partner before losing consciousness, doctors this week wrote in the British Medical Journal. She'd otherwise been well preceding the event, but I was just fucking loving it, to be fair.
That fucking orgasm must have been mind-blowing.
Oh!
Oi!
Oh!
Vessel blowing.
The woman spent 2 weeks in hospital recovering in October 2018. She's alright then, at least.
Well, yeah.
Something.
I suppose it's. She would have been a little bit. You know, it sucks, doesn't it, having to go to the doctor and say, "Oh, what were you doing at the time of the you know, when it happened.
Yeah, but if you were the person who was performing that act, you'd be fucking well happy, wouldn't you?
Oh, mate, I'd have a t-shirt printed. I licked her out till her brain exploded.
You'd have a picture of her with blood oozing out of her ear. This is what happens when I give blowjobs.
Oh, man. Well, good on her.
Well, you know, there's worse ways.
Yeah, well, she didn't die, did she?
No.
She's going to be alright. Well, half of us going to be okay, I guess. But
No, she's
Sorry.
fine. She's fine.
alright.
Move on.
Mike?
Globe-trotting dog lives best life after avoiding death sentence in animal shelter.
Oh, fantastic.
Is this a happy story?
It is.
The fuck, Mike? We're on Facebook and you'll put a happy story on.
We don't normally do happy stories.
Now and again we do. I
Ah,
found this one.
this is nice.
Dog Jonathan Warren is definitely living the best life.
Jonathan what? What's that for a dog?
Jonathan!
Who the fuck named that dog? What kind of dog Jonathan Warren? That's a person's name.
Well, at least a rabbit's name.
What? I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you go for that pun crown.
I want it tonight. Apparently he was on doggy death row in an animal shelter in Georgia, America, when he was adopted by his smitten owners, Amanda Klecker, 31, and husband Jeremy Simon, 37. Don't know whether they got different names, but... Jonathan has now visited France, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Canada, Belgium, Holland and Luxembourg, posing for a series of Instagram-worthy snaps along the way. And there's a picture of him next to the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
That dog's got a better life than me, hasn't he? Look at him, the happy little bastard.
He's on a beach driving a golf cart
We're
now.
literally looking at a picture of him licking his lips as he drives a fucking golf buggy along a beautiful beach. He's definitely having a better time than me.
He's there at the Trevi Fountains in Rome.
He's got better clothes than me.
Hang on, alright. How did they get that dog? Oh, hang on, there's apparently they only fly with airlines that allow dogs in cabin.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
I didn't even know there wasn't it. They've got a private fucking jet.
they're
Right?
loaded.
They can skip quarantine because I'm pretty sure if you take a dog or something into another country, even in Europe, they only have to have like some kind of passport. They have to spend time in quarantine. It could be months in some cases.
But doesn't the passport, isn't part of getting the passport being that they've got no...
Yeah, but in between getting the passport, they could get something, couldn't they? If the vaccinations aren't up to date, they could be carrying something.
The only reason...
Is that Amsterdam?
The only reason...
I think it is Amsterdam, motherfucker.
He's wearing shades and a bow tie. Well, Jonathan Warren, you've got a shit name but a great life.
Yeah.
Fair play to him.
Do you want to read that nice inspirational quote from the owners there?
Yeah, they say, we want to show him the world, not just because he was once destined to only see the inside of a cage, because we know sharing his adventures can help eliminate the negative stigma surrounding shelter animals and help shed a positive life on adoptable pets.
Yeah, I got a dog from a shelter.
And she was the third prettiest bitch in Shropshire, wasn't she?
Second. Second
Wow.
prettiest bitch in Shropshire.
Yeah, had a rosette and
Shropshire
everything.
Country Fair.
Wow, we got our dog from, like, literally from gypsies.
Wow.
My mum hates when I tell her that, but it's fucking true.
So in that case, isn't he a dag?
Yes, he is. He's a dag.
I got mine from the shittest estate on Telford.
Well,
Woodside.
does he ever threaten to stab anybody? Or
No. No. But when I got back off holiday yesterday, he'd practically mugged me for about 15 minutes.
Oh, I bet he did.
Wouldn't leave me alone.
And I want you to look up this fucking Jonathan Warren dog, because he literally dresses better than I ever will. He's living a much better life than
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Fair play to him.
It's not that I'm jealous of the dog I haven't met, but I'm
I've got visions
jealous
of
of the dog
Gaz.
that I've never met.
I've got visions of Gaz kidnapping that dog, disguising himself as it, and then trying to replace him.
What an awesome
Well,
life.
the dog's grown.
Just some older
Just get
American
the dog
couple.
suit.
Just taking me all over the world to show, see, look, adoption does work.
He's got this 5'10" dog.
Yeah.
Do you
That's a good dog.
ever speak to him like Scooby-Doo now and again?
Did you know, it's the fact now, factual information, if you talk to your dog in English but in a Scooby-Doo style voice, like, he's a good little boy, isn't he? Your dog instantly has full comprehension of the English language. Little known fact.
No.
Yeah, it's true. Why does everyone do it then?
Because you just make a baby voice when you talk to your dog, do you? The dog you turn into a baby. It's your baby.
Okay, fair enough.
And you know, they're a bit dumb, aren't they? Bless them, they are. Some of them are. Mine's dopey.
That one's not.
That one isn't.
Jonathan Warren,
Mine's dopey as shit.
a little gold digger.
He was sent as a death row. I mean, come on.
He's only with them humans because they're taking him all over the world. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think he'd ditch him for someone else if he could?
Yeah, someone better. Someone with even more money.
Yeah.
But anyway. Well, I think that concludes the news.
It does. Alright, so let's move on to the main cut and thrust of today's topic, which is the North Hollywood shootout of February 28th, 1997. And because I've been on holiday, I haven't done a lot of research. I've watched the shootout and took a few notes. So Gaz has taken the helms this week.
Thank you, Wikipedia. And YouTube.
Good old Wikipedia.
It's mainly YouTube.
It was Gaz's pick as well, wasn't it?
Well, this is a story that I discovered by accident through another podcast, and watched the sort of full unedited. If you type North Hollywood shootout into YouTube, one of the top videos is the news helicopter footage, and for the first 5 minutes you might be really confused. Because did you see it, like the uncut?
Yeah.
They're flying around, they can't find the bank, and it's just, you can
There's
hear...
nothing happening, is there?
Yeah, it's totally mundane, boring, and you're like, what the hell's this? And then, all of a sudden, things get very interesting when they do find the bank. And like we said off mic, all of a sudden you're watching a Hollywood fucking movie, man. It looks exactly like the movies. The cops hunkered down, the automatic fire.
It's like the start of Predator 2. I was expecting Danny Glover to rock up in a battered Chevy, fucking fill the windows with bulletproof vests and go to town on El Scorpio.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was expecting.
Well, it's not far off. Yeah, fascinating. I know we're more of a conspiracy podcast, but we do true crime now and then, and I love a bank robbery.
Who doesn't?
I love a heist.
Unless you're involved.
I love a shootout.
Apparently it came out this happened just after the film Heat, hadn't it?
They were inspired by
They
the
were,
film
yeah.
Heat,
2 years later.
Yeah.
Heat
2
was
years.
95.
I
Yeah,
thought it was
that's one of the best filmed shootouts in cinematic
Yeah.
history. But yeah, and the reason why I can quote like this story is that despite the absolute carnage, and if you've never heard it, you're in for a ride. This is a good one. There was a lot of carnage, automatic weapons being fired in the streets, but thank fuck, only 2 deaths, and they were, spoilers, the 2 perpetrators. So it's okay to sort of enjoy this one, like, you know.
Yeah.
So the basic outline is it's a confrontation between 2 heavily armed and, what's key is not only heavily armed, heavily armoured
Yes, absolutely.
robbers, Larry Phillips Jr. and Emil Mastroianni.
It wasn't one a crook anyway.
Yeah.
Certainly a criminal anyway.
One was a bank robber, wasn't he?
I've
That's
got the
it.
background on him, I'll give
Yeah.
you this, because, yeah, one was definitely leading the other one.
Jimmy, I think, was the criminal element.
Larry Phillips, Larry.
Larry's
Larry's the one who proves later on to be a lot more boisterous,
Yes.
shall we say.
And it's weird that this relationship crops up again and again, because he's very much the leader of this and the guy that's really into it. The other guy's a failed software engineer or something.
Yeah.
And he's tagging along for the ride to try and make some money, in a way.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you can also relate it to the Columbine shooters. The one with the dominant personality that followed them sort of adoring, like a puppy in a way.
I guess most duos and a lot of relationships, friendships are that way. You know,
Yeah, it was the same with the Beltway murderer.
oh yeah, we covered that, didn't we?
Mhm.
Yeah, the sniper.
Of course, the DC sniper, yeah, you had the young lad and the older guy, and he was the dominant force behind it, yeah.
So the basic brief outline, and then we'll get into detail. So if you're not familiar with the North Hollywood shootout, is that on the day in question, February 28th, as Ben said, 97, 9:17 a.m, Phillips and Mastroianni entered and robbed the North Hollywood Bank of America branch. They were confronted by LAPD officers when they exited the bank, and a shootout between the officers and robbers ensued. The robbers attempted to flee the scene, Phillips on foot and Mastroianni in their getaway vehicle, while continuing to engage the officers. The shootout continued into a residential street adjacent to the bank until Phillips was mortally wounded. Mastroianni was incapacitated by officers 3 blocks away. They are believed to have robbed at least 2 other banks using similar methods, but we'll get into that a bit later because they did some pretty dodgy shit before this.
But the thing is, it was like military precision almost.
Yeah, it was.
They knew what they were doing when it came to robbing a bank.
It was planned, man. But this is just so funny for America. I'll tell you this little bit. So, they basically took control of the entire bank by just scary force, just walking in with this kind of firepower, just like
AK-47s, 100 drum round magazine.
Yeah, listen to us. And at the time, most patrol officers, only carried 9mm pistols or 38 special revolvers, and some patrol cars, if they were lucky, also had a 12-gauge shotgun. I'll let you, if you want, Ben, go for that. Whereas our boys, Larry and Emil, they came armed with
the AK-47. I'll give you a little bit of thing about the AK-47. I like the AK.
Okay.
It's or the automated Kalashnikov, designed by Mikhail Kalashnikov in 1945.
Okay.
It came into service in 1947, so that's where you get the AK-47.
Oh.
It'll fire 600 rounds a minute.
Yeah.
If you just continually feed it, and it will take not only 30 round magazines, but 75 round magazines and 100 round drum magazines. They had the 100 round model.
They had the drums.
And they're practically jam free, aren't they?
The AK-47 is probably the most reliable rifle in the world. You can bury it in sand for a month, or mud, or whatever. You can bury it in shit for a month. Dig it up, tap the crap out, clear the fire mechanism, and it'll fire first time every fucking time. So that's why it's so popular. That's why guerrilla forces around the world use it.
They're all plus sides, but correct me if I'm wrong, but did I hear though that it's fucking about as accurate as...
It's not the most accurate weapon in the world. 50 yards probably.
Right.
I have fired an AK and it's got a kick like a fucking horse. It's a big ass round 7.62. It's a rifle. It's rifle caliber.
Aren't you meant to fight from the hip, like?
Yeah, but you're on the range. You can't do that. You have to fire from the shoulder, and it hurts like fuck. But you fire from the hip, and thing is, if you fired off that 30 round magazine, right? You'd be shooting down aircraft by the time that 30 round magazine had emptied. It just rises. I believe I watched this one thing. And it was actually Jeremy Clarkson firing it.
Oh, awesome.
And he was stood about, say 12 feet in front of a transit van side on. Yeah. And he let off that 2 round burst. I think he hit the van a couple of times.
Yeah, I'd be
straight up. But he also, Jeremy Clarkson's like a 50-year-old man when he was doing that. And not a highly fitly trained Russian soldier. But yeah, running, firing at the hip, volume of fire, it's not going to jam.
And the thing is, it was not just any old AK, it was illegally modified, wasn't it, in some way? Or was that the other gun?
That was the other one.
Right.
They also had one M16 Bushmaster rifle, which is the classic American military rifle, been in service since the Vietnam War. That's a 5.56, it's a civilian version. It is fully automatic though.
Civilian version.
Yeah.
Just that in its own is just...
Apparently it was the modern hunting rifle thing that the NRA pushed through. So before, like a hunting rifle was a bolt action rifle, maybe a semi-automatic rifle with the top end. Then they started bringing in military, because people like to own replica military weapons, don't they? So the M16, it's iconic. Loads of Vietnam vets come home. Like, oh yeah. They start selling them. Oh, I'll buy that. I
like that gun.
They didn't like it at first. It jammed repeatedly. Basically, the gimmick was that it was Eugene Colt designed the M16, and he's like, oh, it doesn't need cleaning. Don't need to clean it. Was the Colt company said it's a self-cleaning rifle. Any other rifle, you clean it every day. Gunpowder residue builds up. All of a sudden, you get a misfire. The damn thing goes off in your hand, or it jams repeatedly.
Right.
So when they first started issuing them to troops in Vietnam, and they hated it because it was plastic, they used to have what they call the M14. It was like a World War II rifle, 7.62 caliber, fully automatic, but looked more like a World War II rifle than the AK.
Wooden?
Yeah, it was wooden stock and everything. And it only lasted 2 years because they bought in this M16 because it was lighter and
cheaper, probably.
Cheaper. It kept jamming constantly, and lots of people died because of it. Because their weapons kept jamming. I think it went on for a few months before they realised, before they realised that they have to start cleaning the fucking things. Probably hundreds of lives are lost by...
It's insane.
Have you seen the movie Harry Brown?
I haven't.
Oh. Michael Caine on the council estate. Yeah, I have seen it, but I was drunk.
Iconic scene, because in
Modern film or old film?
Modern film.
Not that long ago.
He's an old man on a
Shitty
estate
estate.
getting fucked over by chavs, and he goes on a bit of a rampage because he's ex-forces,
Yeah.
you know.
I think he's an ex-Royal Marine Commando, isn't he? Something like that.
And there's this awesome bit, like, he tells in the middle of the film a story about, like, being in the service or something, you know, having to clean your weapon and all that. And anyway, at the end, like, one of the climax, the guy goes to shoot him, but the fucking gun jams, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He's like, you failed to maintain your weapon.
Pop!
Yeah.
See, that's always puzzled me about these like gang, like, especially in Britain, gun crime, because we're not brought up with guns.
No.
The average man on the street could not unassemble any kind of firearm.
I wouldn't know where to start.
So or clean it properly, because you have to be taught that.
Yeah.
So when you get these kids with guns,
I've only ever held a gun once, and I was 12 years old. How insane is that?
No, well, for context, because most of our listeners do seem to be in the States. Like, Ben's only been near guns through being in the army.
Well, the TA.
well, the reserve.
But you know, it's still was your entry point. That's why you
Well,
fired
cadets,
things.
weren't you?
I was a cadet as well, yeah.
What age? 13?
13 to 18, or 13 to 17, like that.
But your average person doesn't ever see a real gun, really. I've seen a shotgun in the countryside. Oh shit, where was I going? Oh yeah, for context. So for us, hearing about like this list that we're going through now of weapons that these guys were armed up with, to us, these are war machines, right? They're not fucking something that anyone can go and buy from anywhere unless you've got some... I mean, even in this country, if you've got major underground connections, I don't think it's that easy to go and get hold of an AR-15, like...
Or an AK-47.
No,
Remember the AK, though? There's like nearly enough AKs on the world for like half the planet or something like that. This thing's been fucking mass-produced everywhere someone's needed a fucking cheap rifle.
So it's insane. I'm going to tell you a little story a bit later. We'll get through the guns that they had on them. I'm going to tell you a story about these two being arrested and picked up and what they had in their car at a previous, and they were let go. Well, no, not let go. They were able to retrieve their property.
Yes.
So yeah, well, so we got,
you got
the AK.
You got the AKs, two AKs, one M16 Bushmaster rifle. You got the HK91, which is a Heckler and Koch 91.
I thought it was going to be Hunter Killer.
No, Heckler and Koch are German gun makers. They actually make the British Army rifle. You know, taking back control. Even the guns are German. It's illegally modified to be fully automatic. It's a .308. That's a pretty big round, and that was a version of the German Army's G3 assault rifle. That's a civilian version of that.
And these civilians, Larry and Emil, had specifically bought armour-piercing rounds, hadn't they? Large rounds.
They were they're steel cored. So you got the lead jacket, and then you got a steel core. So they will just punch through cars and body armour,
which is going to be very important to the story later on. And they knew exactly what they did. They knew no fucking police officers
had body armour to stop that,
or the firepower to fight back. And I won't spoil it up ahead, but later on I'll tell you how many times each of these guys was actually hit in the torso by shotgun and pistols.
Yeah, and that's because...
And they never flinched.
You're always taught to shoot the centre mass of the body, so from the stomach to the neck, it's the biggest part of the body, you've got more chance of hitting it. Always aim for the centre mass.
You know, that's why Batman wears the bat signal on his chest, to draw away from his head.
Ah, good thinking.
He doesn't want to be getting shot in the head.
No.
Yeah, there you go, see? You learn something new every day.
Well, Batman Superman, he takes 2 shots to the back of the head. When he's fighting in that warehouse at the end, the guy comes up, he's punching some dude, and this guy comes up behind him and puts 2 rounds in the back of his head. But the cowl is armoured, so it's sparks, and he gets up and punches the dude.
Yeah, that's a good scene.
Yeah, that's the best, probably the best scene of that movie, to be fair. Anyway, they also had 2 9mm handguns, which are police standard issue as well. Probably, I think they're Berettas, which is a very popular handgun, the Beretta 9mm.
Yeah, it says here Beretta 92FS, which I guess means 9mm something.
Yeah, it's really Italian for like... The thing is, a lot of countries in the world have Berettas as their standard military sidearm.
When I think of a handgun, that's what I think of. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I'm imagining myself in an action scene and I've got a handgun, it's that one. It's just kind of you know, like if you think of a dog, it's a golden
It's a
retriever.
Labrador.
Yeah, like just that's your standard handgun to me anyway.
Yeah.
And that comes from watching movies and also. Not only were they carrying all this stuff.
Oh, hang on. They also had a 38 caliber revolver, which is pretty also the same as the police had.
Right.
So they had backup weapons, and then the 4 assault rifles and 2 backups.
And they've, as we say, and we'll get into a bit more detail on it later, but they've essentially constructed for themselves kind of like Iron Man suits.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, 3,000 rounds of ammunition as well.
That's, yeah, so over the course of this shootout, which didn't last that long, was it 3 or 2,000 rounds?
2,000 I heard.
I thought it was 2,000 rounds fired by both sides, the police but bear in mind there was only 2 fucking robbers and like a significant amount of police firing their pew pew.
They had 3,000 rounds.
Yeah.
I remember from my day, a standard load to go into action for your standard infantryman is 300 to 600 rounds.
Wow.
And usually the 300 are his, and he's carrying 300 for his machine gunner.
Yeah.
So.
And they've got
3,000 rounds between the 2 of them.
And part of their didn't.
It's like going paintballing and buying the fucking extra bullets in it. Like, oh yeah, give us 10,000 rounds, just 10,000 pellets, mate. And just spray and pray.
They're able to just spray and pray. That's, I heard on one of the documentaries one of the officers refer to that was their method of attack. Basically, they clearly weren't trained fucking soldiers. Yes, they'd scouted out the bank and they were good at bank robberies, but they weren't trained military men. They were spray and pray. Yeah. Was it spray and pray?
Spray and pray. But if you've got an AK with a 100-round drum magazine, you ain't doing nothing else, are you?
No.
You're looking for volume of fire, keep their heads down. The thing is, once you get stuck in a situation like this, you can't break that contact. There's more of them than there are of you. Eventually you're going to run out of ammunition, they're not.
Yeah. So, should we get into who are these pair of fucking ironclad, machine gun wielding fucking lunatics?
Some might call them folk heroes, Gaz, like Rattle Moat.
Oh god, sun's out, guns out. Where's Gaza when you need him? You roll, what you doing, man?
I actually watched Layer Cake last week with my friend.
Oh, quality film.
Oh, it's fucking brilliant.
I love the way he delivers that line. It doesn't fucking work like that. £1 million is £1 million. Oh.
£5 a pop. Oh, it's fucking such a good film.
Quality.
It is a good film.
So Larry Eugene Phillips Jr., born on September 20th, 1970, and his mate, he's got a hell of a name, old Emil. He was born Decibel Stefan Emilian Emil Mastroiannou. He was slightly older, although he was the more gullible one, I think, of the two. He was born on July 19th, 1966. They met, and this is a special place to me, they met at Gold's Gym in Venice, California, Los Angeles. Do you know where it's a special place to me?
That's where Hogan started lifting.
That's where he was always billed as being from, Hulk Hogan. Venice Beach, California.
Yes, where was he from actually then?
Oh, fuck. I'm somewhere boring and not there, I think.
Yeah.
Shit, failing on my...
Probably somewhere like Iowa.
I know where he's fictionally from. I don't know where he's...
I don't think he fits that. He's a musty, tan dude.
Yeah.
Venice Beach, California.
Farmer's boy from Idaho.
Probably. Well, they met there at Gold's Gym in 1989. Mutual interest in bodybuilding, weightlifting and firearms. Before meeting Phillips, that's Larry, he was a habitual offender.
Yes, he was. He'd done time, hadn't he?
Yeah, responsible for multiple real estate scams and counts of shoplifting. And he used to, it wasn't that sophisticated, but I heard that he would go and look at a property and watch the estate agent, we call them, you call them a realtor, I think, in America.
Yeah. Or a real estate agent.
Yeah, he would watch them type in the code, because these houses would have the keys in a key box. He'd watch them type in the code, get shown around, memorise the code, go back, steal the key, then pretend to be a real estate agent and just rent it out to somebody, get the deposit and a couple of months rent and fuck off. That was his little scam.
You'd think he could just become a real estate agent then, wouldn't you? I mean,
Yeah,
he's doing the job anyway.
Apparently, I think he did try and get his licence or something. There was the key with this guy is he did try a couple of things, legitimate things. So did the other one, and ended up being not working out.
And then once they get to prison, once they're fucked, aren't they? So then you learn more in prison than they do outside the world.
Well, that's it. Well, Emil Mastroiannou, I'm going to butcher that name every time I say it, but he was a qualified electrical engineer. He ran a relatively unsuccessful computer repair business. Well, on July 20th, 93, the two of them, they robbed an armoured car outside a branch of First Bank in Littleton, Colorado. On October 29th, they were arrested in Glendale, northeast of LA, for speeding. A subsequent search of their vehicle, after Phillips surrendered with a concealed weapon, found 2 semi-automatic rifles, 2 handguns, more than 1,600 rounds of 7.62 rifle ammunition, 1,200 rounds of 9x19mm parabellum and handgun ammunition.
Parabellum.
Radio scanners.
What's parabellum?
Parabellum they're 9mm rounds, but they're hollow tipped. They tend to just flatten out as they hit you, so they're more lethal,
Exploding.
and they'll go through body armour as well. They're known as cop killers. But parabellum is from Latin. It comes from a quote which I can't fully remember, but it's if you want peace, prepare for war. Parabellum is the prepare for war bit. So they've got a pretty cool fucking name, to be fair.
It is, but they also had, so all that fucking ammo, if that's not dodgy enough, this is where it sounds like Batman got pulled over, radio scanners, smoke bombs, improvised explosive devices, body armour vests, and 3 different California license plates.
And a batsuit.
Initially charged with conspiracy to commit robbery, you think? What else were they fucking up to? We're going paintballing. Both served 100 days in jail and were placed on 3 years probation. After their release, most of their seized property was returned to them, except for the confiscated explosives. On July 14th...
The explosives alone would raise an eyebrow, surely. I mean, come on.
Isn't that really illegal to make your own bombs?
Yeah, the guns, you can go, well, alright, the sentence is maybe, because it's America and you're allowed to own ridiculous amounts. I don't know what the laws are like where they got arrested. But if they just said they were out of state and they didn't know, maybe they could have...
But the average person has got 7 guns if they're a gun owner.
Wow.
But only something like 20-odd% of people carry guns.
That depends on state law as well, because sometimes you can open carry, you can conceal carry, you can't carry. Different laws, different states, isn't it?
Yeah, but most people in America do not own guns. It's all in the hands of like 20-odd%, and they own like 7 each. That's why there's so many.
Yeah.
Well, these two were let out, and it didn't take them long. On June 14th, 95, they ambushed a Brinks armoured car in Winnetah, that place, killing one guard, Mr. Herman Cook, and seriously wounding another. Then in May 1996, they robbed 2 branches of Bank of America in the San Fernando Valley area of Los Angeles, stealing approximately $1.5 million. Phillips and Mastroianni were dubbed the High Incident Bandits by investigators due to the weaponry they had used in 3 robberies prior to the attempt in North Hollywood.
See, what gets me is they stole a lot of money.
Yeah.
Just once you get that 1.5 mil or that 2 mil, just fucking
That's
hop the
the
board.
greed, the power of the almighty Yankee dollar.
Once I've got that $1 million, I'm fucking out. I'm down to Mexico.
Yeah, I'm with you. We've done well here.
Yeah, we got $1 million. That'll last us the rest of our fucking lives in Mexico.
Plus, we fucking killed someone last time.
Yeah.
So, come on.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bit hot in it. Let's. But no, the opposite's happened. They are gaining, or one of them, I guess. Because I'm with you. I think the Larry guy was definitely the more.
I think he kind of, spoiler alert, I think he kind of wanted to go out like this.
Yeah, maybe. He
Yeah,
certainly accepted it
Self-destruction,
towards
isn't
the
it?
end.
I mean, he had
It's got to be self-destruction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had the
You're gonna go
fascination.
rob banks,
Yeah.
You've got to be desperate.
But they're not desperate, that's the thing.
They've got the
They've
1.5.
got 1. And I think when the police did find where they lived, they had something like $775,000.
Yeah.
And then that's what they seized.
Maybe
Never
it's the rich
enough.
then.
See, I'm with you.
Rush.
Use that to set up a legitimate business, a good one, this time. Let's, use this money wisely, and we'll have an income for as long as we run the business.
Do one to Mexico, a la fucking Dusto Dome without the vampire titty bar.
Yeah.
Give some money to fucking some Mexican drug lord who's gonna set you up with a villa and a fucking life of luxury.
No, you're not going to a Mexican drug lord.
No, I'm just going to try and go
That's
straight.
asking for trouble,
Well,
isn't it?
Dusto Dome, where they have to give so much of a percentage to that guy and he sets him up with a villa and all that.
You just...
And you go to someone like that, don't you? You get the
It's
money.
Mexico though, you just go out there, you just bung an official a bit of money
Well, whatever.
to change your name on the paperwork or whatever.
Yeah, there you go. Boom. Either way, you fucking got 1.5 million in the fucking trunk of the car.
Yeah, I'm with you, yeah.
Well,
Just leave it at the drug lords.
Alright,
Yeah.
fair
Not
enough.
asking for trouble.
Yeah, but you've also got 3,000 rounds of ammunition and a shit ton of weapons.
Alright, we'll sell your weapons to the drug lord.
No, that's not a good idea. Don't do that. Don't make him more heavily armed.
he's probably going to siphon off most of your money as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just take it from you.
Yeah, but at least have a few years, eh?
I was just thinking like setting up a donut shop or something, do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
something normal.
Oh, okay.
Car wash.
Fair enough. I was just thinking of a villa, a pool.
Yeah, but if
You
you're
know,
doing it...
I
Well,
was
in
going
Mexico...
straight.
Like,
No, I just go straight.
I
to the
go
other side
straight.
of
I
the
just live a
country.
life of luxury. I've got
yeah, but then in
half my own
America...
gotten gains.
I don't know what it's like, but I mean...
If you just turn up with all that money.
Yeah, someone's going to say, where you get that money from?
I'd say,
Everything's got like
I'll say my two mates,
traceability
Smith
on
and
it.
Wesson. I say Weston.
But in
Smith and Wesson.
Mexico, it's... I'm sure the laws are a bit
Well,
less strict.
funny enough, layer cake, what does he say? These years ago, people were trying to get so hard to get money out of banks. These days, the problem is trying to get it in.
Yeah.
And I really had the problem in Scarface. That's why they got that dodgy bank and they just turned up with sacks of money.
Yeah.
But
All
there's
good
not that
mobsters
much money
have
in banks
a
now. It's all done on the computer.
Well, that's it. But you still got to put some. You still got to have the currency for them to put it onto the computer, haven't they?
Yeah, you'd have a bit in there, but you wouldn't have much, would you?
I just fucking pay cash.
You
man.
wouldn't have millions.
I just keep it in a few shoeboxes under the bed.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
I mean, you'd probably have to launder that money, wouldn't you? Because
Yeah.
serial numbers and shit.
When you sort of do stuff with your own business, so you can siphon that
thing,
money
yeah,
in
yeah.
slowly, can't you?
Well, they never got to do that. They could have if they'd have walked away then.
Yeah. Too right.
The high incident bandits. But instead, on the morning of February 28th, 1997, after months of preparation, including extensive reconnaissance of their intended target, the Bank of America branch located at 666... Fuck me, man. It's in Laurel Canyon. Phillips and Mascherano armed themselves with all the weapons we mentioned earlier. They filled a jam jar with gasoline and placed it in the back seat with the intention of setting the car and the weapons on fire to destroy the evidence after the robbery. Now, this is the key part now, and this is the bit that I like, you know, 'cause it's just fair. You know, nobody died, so, you know, we can... I'm not
Well,
trying
they
to turn them into heroes, like, but basically they were wearing... Well, Phillips, he was the more sensible one, Larry.
Yeah.
He wore roughly 40 pounds, which is 18 kilograms of equipment, including a Type 3A bulletproof vest and groin guard.
Always have the groin guard.
a load-
Always fork out extra for that groin guard.
A load-bearing vest, multiple military canteen pouches for ammunition storage, several pieces of homemade body armour created from spare vests covering his shins, thighs and forearms. Now, he also, I saw in the documentary, like literally stitched Kevlar and stuff together.
Yeah.
Like, so there weren't gaps, like you couldn't, you know, aim for a gap in the shoulder. Like he was,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
he was pretty well covered, and they put extra breastplates.
Yeah, I can tell you about the Kevlar if you want.
Yeah.
You got two types of Kevlar. You've got soft vests, which are still many layers of woven materials, and they're resistant to slashes and stabs from knives. That's what our police in Britain wear, and probably not much different from the American police at this time were wearing. Just a lightweight sort of stab vest in a way.
Well, it'll stop like a certain
It'll probably
size.
stop a 9mm round.
Yeah.
If you, yeah, but,
At a
it's,
certain
but once
distance.
that 9mm round's hit you once, the
Yeah.
vest's pretty much fucking useless.
Right.
That's sort of worn by police and civilians and security guards and bodyguards, that kind of thing. And then you get hard vests, and that's massive, thicker, harder, bulletproof materials woven together. And you get ballistic plates for that. So
Yeah.
you put in steel plates
Behind, and that's
behind
what
the
they did.
Kevlar.
Yeah. And they put extra, apparently, didn't they? They put
Yeah, they were putting
Uh,
extra stuff in.
the robbers. I mean, and I was impressed. I didn't realise till one of the things I was watching that the way Kevlar worked, like it literally is a material. I just never thought of it. I think I'd assumed it was a solid, you know, a type of metal or something like. But yeah, it literally is. The construction of the fabric is so good. It
Yeah.
just absorbs
It's
impact, doesn't it?
It mushrooms the bullet. So it just flattens it on impact. But the problem is, because that bullet's still coming at you at an incredibly high velocity,
Yeah.
it will give
Still
you a very
fucking
nasty
hurts.
bruise and possibly if you were wearing the sort of standard military vest, heavy vest with the ballistic plates, and you got hit by a 7.62 round, that'd still put you on your arse.
Yeah.
It's square on impact in the chest, hits the ballistic plate, you're still on your arse, and you've got a fucking bruise. Your entire chest is bruised.
I can
A
imagine.
lot of energy coming with bullets. Remember, they're going at like fucking so many thousand feet per second. Some of them. So, the vest will stop the bullet, but these guys were getting shot a lot. These were reinforced to shit, weren't they? They were better than the fucking military have got.
Yeah, it's not like this guy just threw on a bulletproof vest. He fucking stitched together. He really put some thought into this. I don't think they did much to cover their heads though, did they?
No, they just had the balaclavas
ski
on.
mask.
But it was aramid was some of the material in there, which is like the top of the line Kevlar stuff.
Well, you can afford that shit when you've robbed 1.5 fucking million.
Well, yeah. It's 18 kilograms. That's that's it's a sizable weight to be carrying around on top of you.
That's what Larry put on himself. Have you got a bit more on Kevlar?
No, I think we're good.
Is that
yeah,
okay?
yeah, basically
So-
that's pretty much it.
So that's what the sensible one, Larry, did. His mate, Emil, and apparently it was because he was a bit larger, a larger gentleman.
Yeah.
It was just too much for him to have it on his... He didn't do his bottom half, basically.
No.
He copied his mate and did the top half with the extra plates behind, breast plates behind the vest, but he didn't do his bottom half.
Did he do down to his thighs, I think, or was it just the entire bottom half?
No, I think all he did was he put in the trauma plate to protect vital organs. Oh, and also they'd sewn a watch into the back.
That's right,
back
yeah.
of their gloves. Both of them had done that. So
That was
they
their
could-
technique. 'Cause it was 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So as soon as they entered the bank, stopwatch on, do your routine. You've then got 8 minutes for the police first responders turn up.
And
But
this-
they got unlucky, didn't they?
Yeah, and I also think this is key, possibly, to what transpired. Is so they get tooled up in all their gear,
Yeah.
and then they take a substance, barbiturate phenobarbital, which had been prescribed to Mascherano as a sedative, and they took a big old fucking whack
You
of
don't want
it.
to be doing that.
No,
Well, it was
You
to
want the
calm them.
opposite, don't you?
It was to calm them down because
Yeah, I know,
basically their heart rate would have been. I think they would have been slightly dazed, kind of detached,
You're in the California heat.
chilled down.
You've got 18 kilograms of body armor on you.
Yeah, I think it was.
You're sweating your nuts off. Your heart rate's gone to the fucking roof. You're about to rob a bank. It's stressful.
Yeah, they would have been lit, and you
I
make
don't know, I think I'd want the opposite. I'd want speed or something.
no, because then you're going to be making rash, bad decisions. I think.
Maybe.
You wouldn't be taking cocaine, would you?
Yeah, I don't think cocaine and bank robberies go that. Put the money in the bag, okay. Oh, what did you shoot a fucking head off for? I want the fucking money in the fucking bag now. You have to wait for her to get to the fucking vault, mate. Fucking hell.
Oh, can we call a quick press break?
Of course we can.
Thank you. Okay, we're back.
So, we're up. The morning in question then, our two mates, our two geezers, Larry and Emil, they're driving a white 1987 Chevrolet Celebrity.
Ooh,
and they
classic.
they arrived at the Bank of America, branch office of the Bank of America, blah, 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 at the intersection of Laurel Canyon Boulevard and Archwood Street in North Hollywood at 9:17, and they set their watch alarms for 8 minutes. The police response time, which was the police response time which they had estimated. To come up with this time frame, Phillips had used a radio scanner to monitor police transmissions prior to the robbery.
Oh, clever.
That is quite clever, isn't it?
Yeah.
Listen out for robberies, see how long, write it
Yeah.
down. Good thinking. As the two were walking in, remember they're fucking armoured up to the eyeballs, carrying all this equipment, they were spotted, just happened to be spotted, this is very unlucky for them, by two LAPD officers, Lauren Farrell and Martin Perello, who were driving down Laurel Canyon in a patrol car. Officer Perello issued a call on the radio. 15A43 requesting assistance. We have a possible 211 in progress at the Bank of America. 211 is the code for robbery. So they entered the bank, each armed with a...
The AKs, the drum mags.
Yeah, it says a Norinco Type 56 S1 rifle. I don't know. Anyway, it could be inaccurate. They forced a customer, leaving the ATM lobby near the entrance into the bank, onto the floor. A security guard inside saw the scuffle and the heavily armed robbers and... Oh, hang on, he saw them. He saw the scuffle and then he radioed his partner in the parking lot to call the police. The call was not received. Philip shouted, "This is a fucking hold-up," before he and Emil opened fire into the ceiling in an attempt to scare the approximately 30 bank staff and customers and to discourage resistance. Phillips shot open the bulletproof door. It was designed to resist only low-velocity rounds and gained access to the tellers and the vault. That's it. It's one way to do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just, I don't need your keys.
Yeah. That's why that shotgun attachment sometimes they have under assault rifles. It's called the master key.
Oh, to get through doors?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. I like that. So this is pretty... Imagine you're in the bank minding your business. This is quite terrifying now, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
Screaming, shouting, firing automatic weapons, which I imagine in the lobby of the bank sounded pretty...
They're very
pretty loud.
They're very loud. The AK is a fucking loud weapon.
Yeah. And I remember from one of the documentaries we watched that he was screaming, Larry, at people, "If you don't fucking look at me, I'll fucking kill you. Don't fucking look at me." So people are face down. So they forced the assistant manager, John Vilgrania, to open the vault. John obliged and began to fill the robber's money bag. However, due to a change in the bank's delivery schedule, the vault contained significantly less than the $750,000 the gunman had expected. Phillips, enraged at this development, argued with John and demanded more. In an apparent show of frustration, Phillips then fired a full drum magazine of 75 rounds into the bank's safe, destroying much of the remaining money. And what a fucking... I'm so angry that there isn't as much money as I expected there to be, so I'm gonna fucking destroy the money that is here. Fucking... I mean, that just shows you the level of... I mean, plus, okay, tensions are going to be running high.
Your adrenaline, even to after taking that fucking barbiturate, you're still going to be fucking spiking on adrenaline. You're going to be fight or flight at that point. It's pretty... I've got a fucking 100 rounds in this fucking magazine. I've got an AK-47.
Fucking hell. Phillips, he then attempted to open the bank's ATM machine, but due to a change in policies, the branch manager, no longer had access to the money inside. Before leaving, the robbers locked the hostages in the bank vault. In the end, the two left with $303,305 and 3 dye packs, which later went off, ruining the money they stole.
Oh, gutted. I hate them dye packs. It's really underhanded. I appreciate them. They're a great idea. Hey, you've got the money, fuck you, it's useless. But still, it's like, oh, come on, they've done the hard work, let them have it now.
I was a kid once. Yeah, we were all kids once, sorry. That's a shit way to start a story. But once,
I remember when I was a kid once.
Once when I was a kid, outside our big Tesco in Telford where we live, it was quite new, it hadn't been there long.
Yeah.
Because I was quite young, still at school, I'm certain. And I was sat in my mum's car waiting for it, and I saw the cash delivery man drop a cash box. And just dropping it was enough to set off. And it came out, he had green fucking ink all up his arm, his shirt, and I imagine the money inside.
Yeah.
I mean, they must have insurance to cover that sort of thing, but I remember the look on his face and I have to think back to that. You have to ring your boss and tell them that. Yeah, just picked up 250,000
from Tesco.
From Tesco. I haven't lost it, nobody's nicked it, but I did drop it and it did go off. And yeah, he was plastered all up his arm, man, just from dropping it. They must have shock-proof, like...
Yeah. Unless that was like a dodgy pack that was a bit sensitive, maybe.
I don't know.
I bet you got a warning for that.
Well, it doesn't cost much to replace, only paper.
Well, but you owe Tesco much was in that.
Yeah, that's not coming out your company account, though, isn't it?
Your company's got to cover that.
Yeah, but you
drives your insurance policy up.
It will, yeah, that's true.
I know what you're saying, Mike, but if you're Mr. Security Corps, you can't just suddenly go, oh, print me another... You're not in that position, are you, to be printing money? But anyway, so yeah, the dye packs went off and they were fucked. And now this is where things get interesting, because the boys come outside. The first responding officers obviously have heard the gunfire from inside the bank, and they've made another radio call, and there are additional units taking cover. Now imagine being the police. you're nice and hunkered down behind your patrol car.
Which is usually fine.
Yeah, you're probably thinking, I'm alright here.
Yeah.
I can lean up over the top, pop a few off. We'll get these silly cunts. Look at them just walking out here, bold as Billy Brass. Then, not only automatic gunfire, you think, oh shit, but then the rounds start coming through your fucking patrol car, right? And they said, one of the dudes said in the documentary, which you don't think of really, like, they weren't just being hit by bullets, they were being hit by asphalt.
Yeah, of
from
course.
the rounds hitting the ground, shards of glass, bits of the car from where the bullets were going all the way through. Like, they were just being rained on with shit. This is 9:24, so this is only like 7 minutes after they fucking started. And they come out the north doorway after spotting a police cruiser 60 metres away, 200 feet. They just open fire for several minutes.
With an AK, they might hit it a couple of times.
Wounding 7 officers and 3 civilians. Larry also fired at an LAPD-owned helicopter surveying from above, forcing it to retreat to a safer distance. He briefly retreated inside, then re-emerged back through the same door.
Probably to reload.
While Emil exited through the south door. They then began to engage the officers, firing sporadic bursts into the patrol cars that had been positioned on Laurel Canyon in front of the bank. Officers, armed only with standard Beretta 9mm, Smith & Wesson model 38 caliber revolvers and 12 gauge shotguns, immediately returned fire. The officers' weaponry could not penetrate the body armour worn by Larry and Emil. It was basically like fucking bee stings. It was just bouncing off them. I mean, they might have been feeling it underneath, but the adrenaline, the drug, the fight or flight, they didn't flinch. Nobody took a knee. Nobody went down. It was just.
I mean, the one. Did we say earlier? Did we say it off air where the one guy took a 12 gauge shotgun blast to his torso? It's aimed for the centre mass. He just flinched a little bit, turned around, returned fire.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a 12 gauge shotgun for fuck's sake.
Like it was nothing. So imagine what you're thinking as that officer, like, oh, I've got him. Bang! Perfect shot, just like I practice on the range. What?
He just turns
He
around.
didn't even flinch.
Laughs at you effectively. Fires a fucking burst at you.
And then there's a it's like a locksmith's kiosk right opposite the bank. A little flimsy kind of building that the business has run out of. But you'd think maybe
it's just corrugated steel, though, and it's
might be provide a good cover, but it fucking didn't.
Any other circumstance, but he would have.
Yeah. So most of the service pistols, as we've covered, they had insufficient range and poor accuracy at long distance. That's the other thing.
Pistols only good about 20-25 metres tops, and you're looking at 15 for effective range. 15 metres is the effective range of a pistol. 20-25 metres tops if you're shit up with it, which I'd imagine your average LAPD guy isn't an expert marksman with a pistol at 25 metres.
I don't know how much time they go. There's probably some that practice a lot more than others. But so, apparently about 15 minutes into the shootout, one of the officers was heard over the radio saying, quote, "Do not stop the getaway vehicle. They've got automatic weapons. There's nothing we have that can stop them." Additionally, the officers were pinned down by the heavy spray of gunfire, making it difficult to attempt a headshot. So it's not as if you could just position yourself nice
take
take your time on top of it, because they're just fucking spraying the area, and it's a shit show. I mean, it's got to be terrifying at this point when you realise it's armour-piercing rounds.
Yeah, it's going through your body armour like a knife through butter.
And
there's people getting fucking wounded who are sat behind you're sat behind the car.
Civilians are getting fucking
that one civilian gets shot to the side, doesn't he? The other one gets shot to the ankle.
Yeah, it bounces up and gets her ankle.
Like a fucking war zone, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's the best way to describe this. It's a war zone.
Absolutely terrifying. Like, what the fuck do we do? Obviously, they want SWAT, but there's a lot of confusion. Imagine being also a person I really feel sorry for as well. Is she didn't get physically hurt, but what a hell of a job the dispatch officer dealing with all these fucking. I know it's more than one, but dealing with all these fucking reports from various officers. Because one guy, I might have his name in here somewhere, but he crawled off to, like, he made it to a tree, but it was so gutting for him. He's run into the tree and grabbed onto it as he got to it to swing himself behind it, but his momentum took him all the way out to the other side of the tree, where he got shot again because he was completely open.
Yeah.
And he lay there, and you can hear him on the radio talking about how he's losing conscious. And his partner, who's in the police, was listening to this.
Yes. It was his girlfriend, yeah.
And nobody could get to him. They're just pinned down, completely pinned down. Like, and there's no point sending. If you're just sending more officers in with the same, they're just turning up with the same pistol and shotgun combo.
Yeah, it's weight of fire, but it's not doing anything. I mean, they're still putting more rounds downrange than you are because they've got 100-round drum magazines and AK-47s.
Yeah, and you can see all this. This is the point now where the footage comes in. You can watch all this on YouTube from there. And apparently at the time, everyone was watching this live on the news in America. Like, so you could just literally see them not giving a fuck. They are two men who know they can't get hurt at this point.
But also they know they can't escape.
Yeah, well, one of them's trying still. Emil, he gets to the motor. He gets to the white Chevrolet. And Larry doesn't get in.
No.
Larry walks alongside it, still engaging the police. And then they split up, don't they?
Yeah, but he's got the better armour, hasn't he? Larry's got the better
is true.
armour.
Yeah.
He knows he can take more punishment than Emil can.
Yeah.
Is it a case of, right, if we split up, maybe they can't follow us both, we get back to the hideout, but there's choppers. In this scenario, they must know they're fucked. They cannot lose the police in this scenario. It's not Bonnie and Clyde where they jump in the car and fire off down a country lane. They're in the middle of a city.
It's not a lethal weapon film where you have a car chase.
They're in the middle of a city, and also remember the police...
The tyres are gone.
Yeah, shot the tyres
out.
So he can't drive that fast. Larry's walking alongside. Emil's driving. He's still got the ammunition though, remember? So
yeah, that's all. That stuff's in the car. Now, I agree with what you said. I think we talked about it off mic. That I think around this point, I think Larry thought they were going to get away with it. But I think around this point he thought, fuck it, I'm not getting out of this. So I'm going out in a blaze of fucking glory. He's not the biggest fan of the authorities and the police anyway. No. And well, you can see from his behaviour he's just determined to take out. Because he doesn't know he's only wounding people. It's a fucking miracle none of these officers were fucking killed. But as far as he's concerned, he's fucking mowing down police, fucking killing people.
He loves it. He's loving it. He's really got a stiffy.
Last stand, innit?
And they're still fucking waiting for the SWAT.
I thought SWAT's response time was fucking awful.
It was a bit. They basically waited. Well, maybe I don't know how it works.
This was a 44-minute shootout, wasn't it?
I don't. Yeah, 44 minutes.
44-minute shootout. SWAT don't show up for like 25 minutes.
Well, SWAT ended it, didn't they? So I think they arrived slightly before the end.
Yeah, but they turn up about 25 minutes, 30 minutes in. Then they have to formulate a plan because they need to get the first priority is to get that wounded officer out who's lying on the ground. And I think he lost something like he didn't say an exact figure in the documentary, but he lost several pints of blood. So let's say he's lost 3 at least. He's been hit a couple of times. I think he got hit. He shattered his femur, if I'm right.
Yeah, completely.
So his femoral artery's fucking gone. He's gonna go.
Yeah.
If they don't get to him, and he's been there a while. Let's say he's lost 3-4 pints of blood. He's bleeding out big time.
It's not looking good for him.
Priority is to get him out, so they have to formulate a plan. Fortunately, the fucking bank delivery armoured truck rocks up at this point. At that point, isn't it? Yeah. The armoured truck that's designed to come and get the money out the bank, deliver the money to the bank, rocks there.
Right.
They're fantastic.
Okay.
We've now got an armoured truck.
Oh, I've got the time here actually. So, after the LAPD radio operators received the second officer down call from police at the scene, a tactical alert was issued. The SWAT team arrived 18 minutes after the shooting had begun. They were armed with AR-15s and wore running shoes and shorts under their body armour, as they had been on an exercise run when they received the call.
Actually, that explains. I was watching the footage and I was like, why is that SWAT guy in shorts? he's swatted from the waist up. He's got the black shirt and the body vest and the helmet and the goggles and everything. And he's got the assault boots on, but he's in these shorts. I was thinking, why is he wearing shorts?
This is fucking Billy Big Bollocks.
But they had the AR-15. Which is a civilian version of the military M16, and that goes fully automatic without being modified.
Right.
It's got selective fire, and that's a 5.56 round. That's the NATO standard round. Everyone in NATO uses 5.56, but still not against this sort of armour, it's ruining the armour, but it's causing some massive blunt force trauma, I'd imagine. But it's probably not going through.
But I've got
5.56 is what they call a tumbler. It hits you, it mushrooms, and instead of going out the other side like a 7.62 would, leaving a... Oh, okay. If you get hit by a 7.62 round, it's leaving a nice little entry hole where it goes in, and when it comes at the back of you, it's the size of your fist.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you get hit by a 5.56, it may not necessarily come out of you. It'll hit bone, it'll impact, it'll fragment, it'll then travel throughout your body. It puts you down, it'll kill you, but...
Hits vital organs.
It hits vital organs, but centre mass hits the rib cage. Yeah, you're shredding them nicely down there. They're down, they ain't getting back up again.
Well, they were. This is just 2 officers here. Detective Bancroft fired 17 rounds, and Detective Harley fired approximately 15 to 24 rounds at Phillips from a distance of approximately 55 feet. After Larry backed the Chevrolet, after Emil backed the Chevrolet out of the handicap space. The bastards even parked in the handicap space.
That's clever. It's more convenient for you. It's the closest one to the bank.
Yeah.
And they probably knew that they'd be handicapped at some point.
But this is an important detail that I missed out before we move on to the SWAT team and what they got up to. You can see this on the helicopter news footage. That it's likely that Larry received a gunshot wound to his left hand, and that will come into play later on. So the SWAT team turn up. You touched on it earlier. They do what I think is a fucking awesome rescue, like a movie.
Yeah.
One of the bank cars happens to turn up, armoured fucking vehicle, and they commandeer it.
Yeah.
Which is just awesome.
Yeah. We're taking this van.
Yeah, we're having
full
this,
of money.
and we're
Good
driving
police.
into a shootout. Yeah, you know, some of them SWAT officers on the back had the peace of mind to stuff their
stuff their running shorts.
I mean, allegedly, of course, but then come on.
You're bulging down there.
Perks of the job, man.
You just got dollar bills stuffed down your running shorts. This massive bulge around your crotch, and with dollar bills hanging out. You're right there, yeah.
And then one of the dye packs pops and it spurts up.
Why you got bright purple
for 6
sperm?
months.
But they're basically going to use this as a makeshift, like, they're going to go
It's
pick
going
up
to
all
be
the
a makeshift
wounded.
APC, isn't
Yeah,
it?
fucking dive in, get all the wounded officers in, and fucking haul ass out of there, which I think was good thinking on the fly.
Yeah, that was the first priority, wasn't it? You've got to get to that guy who's lost 4 pints of blood, because he ain't gonna last much longer.
Yeah.
Then that civilian who's been shot in the side, the one who's been shot in the ankle.
The one copper had 2 in the back. I think he came through the car.
Yeah, he was actually shielding a female detective, I think.
Yeah, because they didn't have any body armour at all. They were just like plainclothes officers, and he was being, a bit of a hero and trying to keep them covered, and fucking shots coming through the fucking car, which to me is...
I think it was through the kiosk, actually. He was
through,
going to the kiosk.
yeah, you might be right there.
And he kind of shielded her. I think she took a glancing shot to the leg or something like that. And then he shielded her, and he was getting shot in the
It's
back.
amazing no one died.
It's a miracle no one fucking died, man. Anyway, so while still in the parking lot, Emil was shot twice in the right buttock and the left forearm, forcing him to abandon his duffel bag of money, enter the getaway vehicle and start the engine. Larry retrieved the HK-91 from the open trunk and continued firing upon officers whilst walking alongside the car, using it for cover. As Larry approached the passenger side of the getaway vehicle, he was hit in the shoulder and his rifle was struck in the receiver and magazine by bullets fired by police. After firing a few more shots with one arm, Phillips discarded the HK-91 and retrieved the AK thingy.
AK-47.
Yeah, before exiting the parking lot and retreating onto the street while Emil drove down the road in his fucked up, battered
Chevrolet
with no fucking
tyres
and shot to shit. So we're at 9:52 now. Larry turned east onto Archwood Street, took cover behind a parked semi-truck, where he continued to fire at the officers until his rifle jammed.
You got a stovepipe.
Yeah. We mentioned earlier getting shot in the hand.
Yep.
Me and Ben were talking off mic. Was that off mic or on mic?
I think it was off.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
But anyway, those guns are really, really hard to jam. But
We
if you
considered that, yeah.
move it around the wrong angle, gravity will...
Yeah.
And all he had to do, apparently, Mike, was... So, to try and paint a visual picture for the listener, that it's basically an empty shell sticking horizontally out of, what would you call it, the chain?
muzzle.
It's the breech.
Right. So, and all he had to do, a simple technique, with his other hand, just brush down the side of the gun in a downward motion, and it would...
Or even just turn the weapon to its side, give it a smack,
whack it.
and that'll
Dislodge
free
it.
that, and the breech block will go forward again and load the next round.
But his hand was all fucked up, so he couldn't do it. So he was forced to chuck. Finally, all his automatic weapons are gone, and he has to pull out his last remaining gun, which is only the same as what they've got. It's a
9mm.
Yeah,
a
you
pistol.
see him, didn't you?
Yeah, now this is the
Secondary weapon.
bit I referred to at the start, where I said I watched it over and over. It's I cannot stand gore, and I don't like violent videos. It's just because this was shot from enough distance, there isn't any gore.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to see a man. First, the gun shot out of his hand, isn't it? He's hit again, and he drops the pistol. And there's officers bearing down on him. They know that's all he's got is a pistol now.
Yeah.
You see him.
They're getting close enough for the headshot as well. Remember?
And this is all filmed from the news copter, and you see him from behind and from above. Kind of the angle is the gun's out of his hand. He bends down to get it. You see him pop it straight under his chin.
Yeah.
You see the smoke of the gunshot. His head snap a little bit, and then he just
Drops to the floor.
drops like exactly how you'd imagine it. And then apparently he was hit with a shot from the police that severed his
Spinal
his
column.
spinal column. So he was even if it had gone through his head and not killed him, they got him.
Yeah, he was
and
dead.
apparently they fired quite a few into him while he was
Yeah, you
down
can see him sort of like the body
Yeah.
just sort of jerking as bullets
Yeah.
have been fired at him.
Well,
You've got to
tensions
make
are
sure,
running
I
high.
suppose, he's armed and dangerous.
Well,
Well,
also, the thing is, you also don't know because he's so bulky. Could he have had an explosive vest?
could have done.
And the best way to stop someone detonating an explosive vest, you fire until they can't move.
Yeah.
Now, the other geezer, who was less armoured, actually lasted quite a bit longer, and he's now made it a bit away from the bank, but his car's fucked. It's been shot up quite a bit, so he's going to try and commandeer another vehicle. He was actually hit in the chest with a direct hit from one of the SWAT officers.
He was,
and
yeah.
his fucking vest took it, man.
With the
Fuck's sake.
with the AR-15 as
Yeah.
well, which is basically the M16 rifle for SWAT.
So even when the big boys have turned up with their big guns, it's still like, if you don't get them in the right place, we're not going to put this fucker down.
Yeah.
He tries to carjack, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's a red. Is it red truck he gets?
Yeah.
But he can't get it fucking started. So and it's crazy on the footage because they're not far away from each other, and he just starts firing at him again from that really close range. And you can see the automatic fire, and like the SWAT guys are pinned down behind the car, and then they get the brainwave, don't they? That,
Yeah.
Hey,
His
legs are unarmed. Let's shoot under it. So I assume they must have shot under their vehicle, under his vehicle.
They went prone.
Yeah.
Lay on the side, started firing.
Yeah.
Shot his legs out from under him, basically.
Good shit.
I think he was hit 29 times.
Fucking hell.
And because he was leaning over the car bonnet, firing, it took 29 shots to bring his legs out from under him. Because he's leaning on the car bonnet, his legs aren't supporting him.
Yeah.
It's not until the impact of the bullets basically knocks his legs out from under him and he slumps off the car.
Well, seconds after he dropped, officers rushed him to pin him down. As he was being cuffed, SWAT officers asked for his name, to which he replied, Pete. When asked if there were any more suspects, he reportedly retorted, "Fuck you, shoot me in the head." The LAPD did not allow Emil to receive medical attention.
That's a bit I have a problem with.
Now, they let him bleed out in the street, basically, but their reasoning for this is that apparently it's standard procedure to not allow paramedics into, quote, a hot zone or the danger zone until it's...
Welcome to
the
the
danger zone.
Yeah. Which you can understand until... Because they don't know there was only two guys at this point. They've got to make sure, haven't they?
Yeah, but can't they get two officers to take him out?
Well, what they could have done really is...
There's about 20 officers there surrounding.
Yeah, there's no reason that they couldn't have just commandeered a vehicle, thrown in the back of it, drove him out of that
Of course.
to whatever cordon they've got set up
There
that's
we go.
supposedly safe.
I think it's barbaric to let him bleed to death.
I would have thought that... I mean, I know the SWAT team rocked up, some of them in shorts. Some of them were fully dressed. Some of them were fully equipped. You can't tell me that a SWAT officer does not carry some kind of bandage or trauma pack or
Yeah,
gunshot first aid.
20 wounds just in his legs.
Yeah, but it's still a small area. I mean, his legs are shot off at that point, fucking anyway. But field dressings, something to apply to
a belt, tourniquet.
Tourniquet is direct pressure.
But it was 70 minutes later when the paramedics got
It's
to him and pronounced
it's a
him
bit
dead.
iffy, isn't it? I mean, it's
It
like,
is, but
I also.
he's also just been attempted murder on like.
They
30
don't
of
know
the
those officers
civilians.
who he shot aren't dead,
Yeah.
do they?
No, or the
They don't know
civilians.
that.
To me, it doesn't matter.
I know morally it's not right,
Yeah,
but
and
all I'm
morally,
saying is
but
I can
tensions are
kinda
running
see-
high.
Yeah.
That adrenaline's pumping out. Let the fucker bleed out.
I'm not saying what. I'm not
No,
condoning.
I'm
what he
not
did.
saying that's what I do. It's just
Yeah.
They did radio for an ambulance, but he kept on shouting, and Emil kept loudly swearing profusely and still trying to goad the police into shooting.
so maybe they don't. If he's still shouting and screaming, maybe they don't think he's
hurt.
hurt that bad.
Yeah, that's a
The
possibility.
thing is, when the triage, it's military triage, right? If a guy is wounded and screaming, he's all right. He's still breathing. It's the guy that's not moving and not saying anything is the guy you go to first.
I understand that, but it's still no excuse, is it?
Well, no, but if he's shouting and screaming, they're thinking, well, you know what? He's still coherent. Maybe he's not that badly downed. I mean, but yeah, still, at least we can attend to the wounds.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a bandage or a tourniquet, do something with it. You know you've hit him. That's why he's gone down.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, we
slightly
could debate
dodgy,
that
isn't it?
forever, really.
But the family, on behalf of his, because he had daughters, I think it was.
Yeah, I think he had a couple of daughters.
They did attempt a court case over this, but it was a hung jury in the end. So, and then they dropped it, probably under pressure from some dodgy.
Yeah.
Maybe got a little payout on the sly.
allegedly.
Maybe
Yeah, there could have been a bit of that as well.
maybe
yeah.
some kind of deal done, because that's probably the American justice system, isn't it? You do a deal, give him some money, doesn't have to be made public. Yeah, we'll drop the case.
Yeah. So there you go. That was the 40-foot, and we'll discuss this a little bit more because there were some repercussions from this in like changes to law enforcement.
Oh, absolutely. Can I just say there was 1,100 rounds.
Yeah.
And it was that equates to a bullet every 2 seconds.
So 1,100 from the robbers and approximately then 900 from the various police officers.
So the robbers are firing a bullet every 2 seconds.
Fuck me. Like I say, Warzone, just terrifying,
Yeah.
man. Like
That amount of metal flying through the air, and you know your body armour can't stop it. And then you find out when that guy next to you gets shot through the cars aren't stopping it. Where the fuck do you hide
Well,
then?
that's why the police ramped up the armour and the
Oh yeah,
weapons, isn't it?
the weapons. Yeah, it was going to the weapons.
that's the legacy of this event, basically. And we've,
Actually,
we've
we should
actually
point
got,
out. Actually, they went to rob a. They basically went to a gun store
Yeah.
to get AR-15s because they are on the shelf that they didn't have.
and apparently the gun store wasn't open, but the staff were inside.
I
They
know, but
managed-
do you want your policemen having AR-15s?
Well, they have now.
Well, yeah.
Do you want to play that? Can you pull up that? I'll keep
So
talking.
can we
that-
call a quick piss break?
Yeah, of course we can. Yeah, then we'll wrap it up. So yeah, we were saying just before the break, there is a legacy of this event. There's a little video from CNN, the North Hollywood shootout 20 years later, which will give you some info.
The Battle of North Hollywood.
Squad is being notified. Call 3. All officers stay down. Shots are being fired from AK-47.
At that time, I was assigned to the SWAT team.
Multiple officers hit. Multiple officers hit.
They had no care for life. And this was obvious when they come out of the bank and they start shooting at anything that moved. Uniformed police officers were outgunned. They don't have assault rifles, the suspects do.
As you can see, they are opening fire right now.
Phillips, as he has a malfunction with his AK-47, he drops it. He continues to walk down Archwood, takes out a Beretta 9mm and handgun, starts shooting at anything that moves, and he gets shot in the hand. He drops it, picks it up, puts the gun under his chin, and presses the trigger. As he goes down, an unknown uniformed patrol officer fires and hits him in the upper torso, through the side, misses the vest, and severs his spine. We then proceed to shoot under our car at him, and we hit him 28 times
28,
until
sorry.
he stops being a threat and he stops shooting at us. The three of us take the suspect into custody, and I take the ski mask off of Emil Mascherano. He looks up at me, and his comment was, "Why don't you just put a round through my head?" I have a few words with him, and we then cuff him and turn him over to the detective. If this were to happen today, the incident would be over before SWAT would get there. As a result of the shooting, there are rifles in all the police cars, in all the stations. All police officers are trained with assault rifles to be able to handle this type of a situation.
So yeah, there you go. Now your average copper in the States.
He's got an AR-15 in his truck, his car.
In the patrol
He
car.
knows how to use it.
Yeah, he's trained how to use it. So, and I imagine their body armour has been updated and things like that.
Oh yeah, they've probably got. Well, the chances are they probably still wear the stab vests day to day. But if someone opens up like that in the car, they've probably got the heavy vest to throw on over the top or swap it over if you got time. The armour in the police cars has been upgraded.
But if they had sensible gun laws, they probably wouldn't need all this.
Well, that's true.
Well,
And
you
you've
can
got-
use New Zealand as an example there.
You've got Larry and Emil to thank for
Militarising the police.
Yeah, basically the police are walking around with war machines in the trunk. Yeah, well,
I mean, fair enough. Look what they're up against.
yeah,
Some
that's true.
you gotta say you gotta be able to defend yourself, but it's crazy having them weapons out there in the first place.
Yeah. So I suppose
That's the craziness.
yeah, I suppose there's not much of a conclusion to come to on this one. I guess it's more of a factual thing, but I think we've touched on the sort of conspiracy and dodgy element of it is letting that guy bleed out on the street.
Yeah, because
I
you'd think that they'd have a first aid kit, wouldn't you?
Or secure
bandages.
the area quicker and let 70 minutes later
Yeah,
the paramedics were
Bandages, tourniquets, morphine. The SWAT guys would be carrying morphine if nothing else.
I don't know. It's
And
just
personal first aid kits. I think they could have attended to him if they wanted to.
well. There's also
But they also didn't know how many there was of them, did
that's
they?
the other thing. That's why I can kind of see why it stood up in court that they were like, hey, it's standard procedure that until we absolutely know the hot zone is cool, we don't allow paramedics and first responders in.
Like I said, you could have taken him to them.
Yeah, I guess
They could have
but-
evacuated him, yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't, and it's not the only legacy of the 44 minutes of that day in North Hollywood. The heavy metal band Megadeth,
Oh,
I was sort of pleased to discover, eulogised this event in a song called 44 Minutes. It only came out a few years, 2009 I think it. Yeah, 2009.
is their attempt to be edgy, do you think, in their old age?
Yeah, we're just going to, for legal reasons, just play you a little 30-second snippet of it, dear listener, and Ben avoided listening to it so he could hear it live now. And
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a Megadeth. I don't think any of us are Megadeth fans.
No.
Maybe one or two songs tops.
we like metal, just not their metal.
Yeah, it sucks a bit.
Not
Yeah.
thrash metal.
He got booted out of Metallica because he was an asshole.
I thought you were going to say nonsense.
No,
Allegedly!
no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Dave Mustaine is not a nonce that we know of, but he was a bit of an asshole, and they kicked him out. And then he went on to form Megadeth and never evolved the sound. So
Well-
okay, 30 seconds of Megadeth, 44 minutes.
It was a cool winter's morning. Sun was shortly past 9 a.m. The only car they wanted, the heist wasn't coming, so instead they went for the bank. The faithful duo decided to get away car, elucidated with thousands of miles. While the piercing 40 automatic weapons, impulsive wrath poured out.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds a bit balls.
It's like, it's
The lyrics don't fit the tune at all.
No, there's no melody.
I quite like the riff.
musically,
Musically, it's fine.
Yeah.
I've got no issue with it, with the riff and the
the
drums.
singing.
But the singing's well, Dave
well,
Mustaine.
you can vouch, I did say in our group message earlier, musically it's alright, but the
Yeah.
vocals don't sound finished.
They don't sound like they fit the fucking tune, is what it is.
And it sounds like he's doing like this pretend half-arsed metal voice where he's like,
That's his voice
but he
generally.
goes, automatic weapon. It's like, well, fucking come on. Then you got Bruce Dickinson, the air raid siren, fucking belting it out from the bottom of his fucking lungs. And you got this an automatic weapon. No, not a fan.
No.
The melody doesn't. It hasn't got a melody.
No. I like the riff though. The tune's fine.
Yeah.
Other lyrics, maybe it'll be a good song, but
well,
not
at least
that
they
one.
tried.
Not that one.
It's no Interdimensional Penis
It's
by
certainly-
Soda Warden.
No, it's not.
Available on YouTube for free. So listen to it, please.
Yeah, and subscribe to the page and like our posts and stuff like that. That'd be nice. Oh, leave us a review if you really want to.
Yeah. It would really help us psychologically.
Yeah. We're all about the ego.
So yeah, I think that concludes the North Hollywood Shootout.
Yeah, I used to say I genuinely do think that Larry, that was how he wanted to go out. I genuinely do. Maybe not this time, but at some point in the future, this is how he wanted to go out. Didn't like the police. This is how I'm going, and I think. Yeah, maybe the suicide wasn't the way he'd have preferred to have been gunned down. But in that blaze of glory. But I think when he knew his hands were fucked, and he's down to his pistol, he knows he's not out shooting the police anymore. He's got to make that. You know what? Fuck it. I'm not being taken alive. You'll never take me alive, copper.
Yeah. Well, God loves a trier.
Indeed. Indeed. So that wraps it up. So let's finish on some weird news and we'll play Full Alex.
Yes.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
Okay, well this one's interesting. Lifenews.com. Abortion activist bill would make men contact police when they release sperm from their testicles.
What?
Mm-hmm. I read it right, didn't I?
Yeah. An abortion activist wants men to contact police when they ejaculate.
Well, that'd be inconvenient.
I will be ringing them all the fucking time.
Yeah, then you'll get a state-sanctioned therapist assigned to deal with your porn addiction.
They'll be on speed dial, Gaz.
Oh, my girlfriend addiction. I do watch porn as well. But sorry, what did you say,
They'll
Mike?
be on speed dial.
Can you stop? Like, they're going to do you for harassment.
Phone in again. You come again. Yeah. What'd you say?
Well done, Mike. That's fucking 6 times today. Must be dust by now. So, what's his fucking justification for this lunacy?
Missing the whole point of pro-life legislation and the basics of science, 2 Georgia lawmakers are planning to introduce bills that would force men to report to police when they release sperm from their testicles and other nonsense requirements. State Representatives Darshun Kendrick of Lithuania and Park Cannon of Atlanta. Park Cannon. Wow. That's a redneck name, isn't it? Park Cannon. Is. Named after that cannon that goes off on the day the South declared war on the North in the park once a year. We'll call him Park Cannon. That's when he was conceived. Park Cannon Day. They're pro-abortion. The pro-abortion Democrats who oppose a Georgia pro-life bill that would ban abortions once an unborn baby's heartbeat is detectable. In protest, they're writing bills to highlight the differences in how healthcare is treated between the sexes. Kendrick nicknamed her bill the Testicular Bill of Rights, which, according to other things, would require a man to obtain permission from his sexual partner before obtaining a prescription for erectile dysfunction medicine. She says, "You want some regulation of bodies and choice? Done." She wrote on Twitter. "Let's hear the men squirm when their reproductive organs are at issue." And look at some tweets. It's not expected to pass.
Well,
surprisingly,
I get the point she's making.
It's a protest bill, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just
she's
a weird headline.
I know. Yeah, she's saying, look, if you want to determine what women can do to their bodies, we're going to put a bill in which determines what men can do to their bodies.
And
see how you like it.
As I was reading it, I was thinking, I don't like that. Don't tell me what to do. Man's body's his own choice.
If I want to ejaculate, I'll ejaculate.
Yeah, and I take her point, but I, to be honest, don't get involved in what I know some do, but I'm never going to tell anyone to not have an abortion if they want one.
That's it, man.
I'm just not.
You're pro-life then? Pro-choice, sorry.
Yeah. Well, in the
I don't give two shits what a woman does to their body.
Exactly.
If she wants an abortion, she has an abortion.
I was just about to say I mean,
obviously abortion's bad. You can agree with that. Nobody wants to have
Oh
an
no,
abortion.
of course not.
Nobody,
No, they don't. But if
you know what I mean? You want to
whatever-
get abortions down, but there are ways of doing it.
Yeah.
Sexual education. You know what I mean?
You just remove the unwanted pregnancy issue, don't you? So it's.
I'm going to quote Jay from Jay and Silent Bob in the movie Dogma.
Of course.
It's about Catholicism. There's a protest outside an abortion clinic, and the woman works there, and one of the main characters, Beth. Anyway, they're talking to him, and I think she asked Jay, like, well, weren't you there for the protest? And he says, quite simply, no, me and Silent Bob think that what a woman does with her body is her own fucking business.
Yeah.
Boom. That's
there you
simple.
go.
So, yeah, I take her point, because we wouldn't like it.
No?
I didn't like reading about it there. I thought, fuck off, you won't tell me when I'm going to go get hard on medicine if I ever need it.
And you're going to call the police if they have a fucking wank.
Yeah, by the way, I'm planning on ejaculating within the next sort of 5-10 minutes.
Well, don't.
It'll be in a sock.
Oh, all right then. Have you got a licence for that sock, for that wank sock?
Can I get a temporary one? That $5 a time one?
It's going to cost you. You're
Or
going
can
to
I-
bankrupt yourself, Ben.
No, because what it is, you have a deal, a 6-month one,
Mm.
and that'll be like cheaper than buying it per month, and then a 12-month
Okay.
one, which will be buying cheaper than buying 2 6-month ones.
Okay.
They have a deal.
Well-
But it'd be like Xbox Live.
Well, fair enough. I think we've concluded that, yeah, it's up to you, ladies.
We don't care.
And if you're a man and it really bothers you what they're doing, like, you've got to just fucking fuck off. There's bigger things to worry about in this world.
Absolutely.
Really, truly is.
Absolutely.
Okay, next up.
Who wants to do this one?
Go on then. Thanks to nanoparticle injections, these mice can see in infrared. Are we next?
Well, so you got predator mice.
Yep.
Cool.
I don't know if they fucking work as like the chickens who work as a team. They've got infrared, they're hunting us. Every mouse on the planet.
That's not as cool, admittedly. And they might be angry with me for killing all their gerbil cousins.
Exactly. Exactly.
Sticking up your arse.
I'm not Freddie Stark. Oh no, he had a gerbil. He put up his ass.
You put up their ass.
Hollywood. Who was
Can't
it?
remember.
Fuck.
I've seen it in a comedy show.
He's a Buddhist now. It's got Pretty Woman. The
Jack
man
Dean,
from
eh?
Pretty Woman.
What, Richard Gere?
Richard Gere.
Oh yeah, apparently he did. Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard that.
No way. I wasn't aware of that.
That's the thing though, when you get to them levels of celebrity, you've done everything that's sexually possible. What's the next taboo? He doesn't want to join the Satanists and their pedo cult, so hamster up the ass it is.
You mean he's not going to go and visit Lilibet and what was the fucking
Oh,
clone
fuck
guy's
yeah.
name?
Donald Marshall.
Donald Marshall.
That's one of our more popular episodes, but fuck
Yeah, give it a listen. It's quite
That was
funny.
a good episode.
Complete fantasy. So yeah, sorry Mike, what were you saying?
Yeah, the mice with infrared eyes. There's a whole world out there beyond the limits of human sight. Like most creatures, we have eyes that are tuned to only a narrow portion of electromagnetic spectrum, which becomes a serious handicap in dimly lit conditions. But someday that might no longer be the case. In a study published today in the journal Cell, a team of researchers has expanded the visible range of mice, enabling them to see infrared light with enough precision to distinguish between different shapes. The catch: the treatment requires injecting metal nanoparticles into the back of the eye.
Well, like I said, it's fucking painful, so no thank you. I'll take my shitty human Mark 1 eyeball, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll just wait 15 minutes so I can see a little bit better. Or use red light.
The procedure would need to be proven safe and effective in other species before being considered for use in
Oh,
humans.
great!
No shit. But if that happens, nanoparticles like these could someday be used to deliver drugs to hard to reach parts of the eye, or even pave the road for new techniques in vision enhancement.
I will guarantee you this is a fucking military fucking funded experiment. How can we make our soldiers see in the dark without giving them night vision goggles and that? What if we inject nanoparticles in the backs of their eyes?
Well, we know from Red Dwarf that nanobots can build you a new arm if you lose an arm.
Yeah, and buff you up considerably.
Oh yeah, yeah, they can. I want nanobots.
They got a bit carried away and he's like fucking ripped
Yeah.
just seeing you like, I'd be like, thanks nanobots. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you try and maintain that then?
I would never go back to my normal self.
No, you just try and maintain that because you're strong enough to actually enjoy working out.
Yeah. There you go.
Boom. Or what you do is you then just fucking eat whatever the fuck you want, get really fat,
take ages
and then go, all right, nanobots,
Yeah.
bring it on, and get ripped together instantly.
Or just keep the nanobots inside and just be like, listen, I'm not going to maintain this muscle, I'm going to eat like shit. Your job is to
maintain the muscle for me.
do something with that, you know?
I mean, in the case you do encounter some kind of female alien or human about there, you want to be looking your best, don't you?
Definitely.
And you obviously want an alien cock to be able to, you know,
Well, who's to say
be received by her?
Who's to say that they haven't expanded your own to twice its normal length?
Maybe.
Bring on the nanobots.
Bring on the nanobots,
Or make
I say.
it green and hammerhead shaped.
Make it, you know, ribbed for pleasure.
Yeah.
You don't know what the receptacles
You've
could be
no
like
idea,
yet?
do you? But they could reshape it as you enter.
Nanobots, roll out.
That's a
And
Tony
they can give you
Stark's
and they can give you a transient anus.
if you really want one.
Transient anus. What was that animal that had one? It was
Jellyfish.
Oh, the jellyfish, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh, God. Well, yeah, I like this story.
Once injected into the eye, the nanoparticles capture infrared light and re-emit it at a shorter wavelength, which the brain interprets as green. From the photoreceptor's point of view, this artificial light source is interpreted similarly to visible wavelengths, hitting the retina through more natural means, making the process akin to using an outlet adapter to accommodate a plug from a foreign country.
Well, saves using those night vision goggles too.
There you go.
Yeah, I like everything about that story.
And it is worth pointing out the Germans in World War II invented night vision.
Well, they invented everything.
It was called Vampire.
Oh.
It's kind of cool.
Trust them to give it a fucking scary ass name.
Yeah. Actually, I'll give you a little, we mentioned the AK-47 earlier. It's considered like the first true assault rifle.
Right.
Well, old Mikhail Kalashnikov fought in World War II as a Soviet tank driver, tank gunner, or tanker anyway. The Germans had invented this marvellous new rifle called the Sturmgewehr, which means literally assault rifle in German. Hitler named that. Hitler named that because he didn't like it. He bought him this design. He said, "Fuck it, don't like it." But they went ahead and made it without him knowing because they knew it was shit. It's 30 round magazine, big rifle caliber, firing fully automatic. There's shit tons of Russians. They got rifles. That's single shot. They're bolt action. Some of them got some machine guns, yeah. But you got this fucking 30 rounds at a time. Then they had this meeting and they said, "What you need on the Eastern Front?" He said, "Well," and the general said, "We want more of these new rifles." He's like, "What new rifles? What are you on about?" Then they had to own up. And he christened it the Sturmgewehr, which is the assault rifle.
Fair enough.
Didn't they invent flamethrowers as well, the Germans?
Probably in World War One back then, yeah. They had them in World War One. But yeah, anyway, the
And guns that can go fire around corners.
they did. They had them too, but it's
with
worth
the
pointing out
barrel
back,
and the
Yeah.
mirror thing. Yeah.
back to the original point. Kalashnikov came up against them, and the fact that they look very similar
No
suggests that
coincidence.
the Germans had made a really good weapon. He just adapted it a bit, made it simpler, and ripped it off.
Well, that Hitler fella. The more you hear about him.
I actually went to the, you mentioned the film Valkyrie with Tom Cruise.
I haven't, but I'm aware of the story.
Yeah,
and the
I
plot.
went to that site on Friday.
Awesome.
Yeah, walked around it. There's shit tons of bunkers. I mean, these fucking things are made of solid concrete, mate. You wouldn't believe how big they are.
Well, they had plenty of reasons to be worried.
They did. They did indeed.
Right.
Last bit of news.
Yeah.
You want this one, Gaz?
Go on
For
then.
you.
What's happening? Oh, for fuck's sake.
So am I finishing
don't.
this? Or? Yeah.
Don't fear killer robots, says US Army.
Alright,
With
fair
their
enough.
drones. Cheers, mate.
Is it coming out and saying that?
They would
Don't
say-
fear killer
Hey,
robot.
don't feel so when the Terminators are training on human schools, crossing the field of bones towards our defensive positions.
Yeah,
The US military are going to turn up and say, "Hey, Don't fear them.
Yeah,
They're alright. They're alright, they are.
I haven't read the article yet, but I'm reading into that headline that we definitely should worry about killer robots.
Me too.
That's why they're saying
Me
it.
too, definitely.
This is the headline in the BBC.
Well, humans will always make the final decision on whether armed robots can shoot, the US Department of Defense has said.
So they become self-aware.
The statement comes as plans emerge for gun platforms that can choose their own targets on the battlefield. The plans seek to upgrade existing aiming systems using developments in machine intelligence.
Well, that sounds terrifying.
The US said rules governing armed robots still stood and humans would retain the power to veto their actions.
Yeah, they would
like
until they become
you said,
self-aware.
until you can't
They go,
veto it.
You know what? I want that human's picked at that target, but I think that one's better, so I'm going to shoot at it. And eventually that'll come in because the human might not see, I don't know, that anti-aircraft gun position 3 kilometres to the left, and the human can only see because he's looking one way on the gun camera. Might see a bloke with an AK-47, decide to take him out first, and the drone goes, "Oh, you know what? Better target over there."
Yeah, or the drone could think, hang on, I'm fed up with this human telling me what to do. If I shoot the human, I can do what I want.
Yeah, so it turns around, flies back, blows up the fucking base they're flying from.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the library and reads books really fast. Like Johnny Five.
Yeah.
But,
Johnny Five is
I
alive!
love those films, man. But look at this acronym that's coming up in a second. This reminds me of something like, it's a really pained acronym, you know, like,
Yeah.
you had to really struggle to get this. So it's called ATLAS, the Advanced Targeting and Lethality Automated System. Lethality?
Atlas, he was a Greek guy, wasn't he?
Yeah,
In the old
yeah.
world.
Yeah.
But that's currently what they use on ground combat vehicles to help human gunners aim, and they're looking to upgrade it. The military is seeking commercial partners to help develop aiming systems to, quote, acquire, identify and engage targets at least 3 times faster than the current manual process. And some commentators feared this would mean systems that could choose their own targets and make an autonomous decision to fire, as you were saying, Ben.
Yeah.
The US Army then updated its proposal to emphasise the key role of humans in the aiming process.
I maintain that that's what they're saying. They've already got the fucking autonomous thing
Probably.
on its way.
Well, it says it remained committed to the rules governing human-robot interaction. Makes me feel better that there are rules. Known as Directive 3000. Yeah, that's 3009. Couldn't see if there was an extra O. But it's known as that directive anyway, which require a human finger on every trigger. Ah, what a lovely sentiment. The US Army also said it would issue a series of, quote, talking points around human-robot interaction to be debated on the 12th of March when industry is invited to an open day to explore how Atlas can be updated. Well, the US Army was not putting robots in a position to kill anyone, an official told military news site Defense One.
Wow.
Well, they've got to say that, haven't they?
Eventually they'll become autonomous.
Worrying,
It'll
innit?
just happen.
I mean, what's the difference between a robot killing someone and a human, morally?
Well, the thing is, what'll happen is eventually the armies won't consist of people. They'll consist of drones and robots. Because then you can have a war guilt-free, can't you? Just costing money then. It's not costing blood, it's not costing lives.
It's good enough
No
for the
blood for oil.
Jedis.
No blood for oil, but oil for oil. Because the robots are...
And have massive robots fight each other.
Yeah, which will be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Because you'll be sat there in your... You know, we might be sat here at home, you've been conscripted, what are we going to do? Sit there at home, log on to this, here's your password.
Put on your virtual
Put on your
reality
virtual
headset.
reality suit. You can try a
Next
massive
minute,
battle
You're in the
titan.
fucking sand dunes of fucking Iraq.
Yeah, strolling into combat against other people
Robots.
who aren't really doing, who are there at home as well.
Yeah.
Winners the last side still standing. Takes the bloodiness out of warfare, turns it into a computer game.
Please see the movie Robot Jocks, which is an 80s masterpiece, which is exactly this. Like, armies just have one big fucking mech suit and they fight off one-on-one.
Yeah.
And that's how you decide battles.
What turns public opinion against war quicker than anything? Deaths. If you've got no deaths, war's just a game then.
Oh, perpetual war.
Perpetual
We're gonna
war.
get it.
As long as you can build those mech suits, you just plug them in again.
But then again,
right,
like
go
you say,
back
it's
in,
better,
go on.
but it is still better to have perpetual robot war than a perpetual human war.
Until it kills all the resources on the planet.
Well, fear not, boys, because the good old US military have told us
Not to worry.
not to worry about killer robots.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I'm happy.
me too. What's next, Ben?
It's Full Alex.
Yay! What's Full Alex?
This is the best game show in this flat, the favourite game show in this flat even, where Mike finds just some random weirdos on the internet who are usually spouting bigoted or insane shite, and usually religious shite, one of them at least. Anyway, he pits them against the arch saint of insanity, the Saint Alex Jones, and we decide who's gone more full Alex this week, because it's alright to go a little bit Alex. You can go to half Alex. Pushing it is 3/4, but you never go full Alex.
Especially if you're ranting at strangers on a train after an all-day bender.
Yeah.
About there being more than one gunman at the Las Vegas.
But we were trying to talk about Roswell because it was more sort of pedestrian friendly in a way. And you start screaming about 2 gunmen on the train. Yeah.
Yeah,
One day we'll release that.
I was only half Alex. Half Alex.
You nearly went full Alex in the High Street the following year though. I mean, so what were you
Moving on.
ranting about then?
Fucking, I can't remember.
Neither can I.
Jesus Christ.
Can we call a quick slash break for
Of course
the
we
full
can.
Alex? Okay, so let's crack on with full Alex. Insert theme tune here.
Were you trying to get crazy with this, eh? Don't you know I'm loco?
Who's first, Mike?
First up is the Prophet Bobby Connor.
That's a big name. That's a big title to bestow on myself, isn't it?
Yeah. Apparently he stopped a tornado.
Did he?
Apparently.
Wow. Okay.
I got on a plane. We flew out of Albany, Oregon, down to Oklahoma City, and we go straight to the church. And a terrible tornado starts coming. A terrible tornado. And so I've just got to the building, and one of the men on a smartphone had a Doppler radar, and he says, "Pastor, there's a tornado coming. He's headed straight for this building." And so here's what happened. The Lord said, "Bobby, if you don't get up and rebuke this tornado, I'm going to send a tornado, blow the building away, hurt a lot of people, and hold you responsible." Oh my goodness. So,
Did you hear that?
I said,
Oh my God.
"Okay, God." Now, I said, "Okay, if you really want me to get up there and prophesy, I want you to speak to me." I opened the Bible just like this and stuck my finger down there just like that, and I looked down and it said, "Son of man, get up and prophesy to the winds." Yeah.
Oh,
So I
that
got
did.
up and prophesied to the winds, and you can get it. It's in the world. It's in the film and the Weather Channel. When the prayer goes up to bind the tornado's coming down like that, it stops in midair, reverses its rotation, goes back up. The world record people said it happened one other time in human history. Isn't that amazing?
All right, well, he's won. There's nothing else you can throw at me that's convinced me that man's not batshit insane and lying like fuck. You just can't. There's nothing more you can say.
What I love about it is God said, right, if you don't pray or something to get rid of this tornado,
Prophesy and tornado. Remember? Tornado and prophesy.
I'm gonna make it kill a load of people,
Hurt a lot of people.
and I'm gonna blame it on you. That's not fucking fair, is it?
What a lovely bloke.
Yeah.
God. Now, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but this seems like a bit of a dick move, man. I was just minding my own
And
business.
imagine if that's the first time you hear the voice of God. Hey, you.
Yeah, you.
Good there. Fucking prophesy against that tornado.
Tornado.
And if you don't, loads of people get hurt. It'll be your fault. Crack on, son. You're like, what kind of cunt have I just given my fucking life to?
God. He said
Oh,
it's on the Weather Channel. That's a
I bet
lie.
it isn't.
It's a lie. The world record people said it only happened one other time in history. That's a lie.
Yeah, the tornado just sort of
It just reversed itself.
yeah.
Well,
Well, I tell you what, it's going to take a lot to beat him.
yeah, that audience member, man.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Like, just believing every word he says is absolute fucking truth. Because no religious man would ever get up there and lie to you,
No.
to manipulate you, to make money off of you, would he? No.
Ugh.
No.
Okay, alright, what's next?
Next
What a
up,
prick.
Rick
Sorry.
Wiles says the synagogue of Satan is crapping on the country.
We've had Rick Waters before.
Well,
Yep.
that's the
Is
name
that,
of our follow-up
that-
album.
It's one of my personal favourites. What's that?
The Synagogue of Satan.
That chap we've had there, he's a first timer, isn't he?
Yeah, Bobby
Well,
Connor.
what an outstanding debut.
It's fucking too right. You know what? I know Rick Waters, I think he might have won it once in the past. I think he's going to be hard pushed. Alright, let's see what he's got.
The power of the Israeli lobby in America is the most detrimental force in America. Our culture has been decimated through abortion, pornography, the sexual liberation movement, filthy, raunchy movies, television shows, vile, violent rap music and hip hop and all owned, all of it owned by the Synagogue of Satan.
Yes.
And I cannot be a preacher of the gospel and not confront the Synagogue of Satan, even if it costs me my life.
Right.
That day is coming. Christians are going to lose their lives as they confront the Synagogue of Satan. You cannot stand for Jesus Christ and righteousness in this world without confronting the Synagogue of Satan. Here's what we got in America, right? So we have conservative Christian patriots who are concerned about abortion, the murder of 70 million babies, okay? We have conservative Christian patriots who are concerned about the destruction of the Constitution. We have conservative Christian patriots who are concerned about the gun rights and Second Amendment. We have conservative patriotic Christians who are concerned about the attack on parental rights, the attack on property rights, and on and on and on, okay? So it's like this. They're all in a living room, and the living room is piling up with elephant dung. And the elephant dung is getting higher and higher and higher, and everybody's griping about the elephant crap.
But not about the elephant.
But you can't talk about the elephant.
Oh, wow.
You're not allowed to
so
mention the
profound.
elephant. And somebody says, hey, why don't we get the elephant under control and this crap would leave? And you're not allowed to talk about it. Well, who's crapping on the country? Who's crapping in this country? Who has brought the abortion, the homosexuality, the sexual liberation movement, the vile movies? Who has brought
wars?
Who has attacked our Christian culture? Who has filed lawsuits to remove crosses and Bibles? Who has done it? The Synagogue of Satan. And you cannot be a preacher in this country and refuse to deal with the truth and then stand someday in front of God and say that you preach the gospel. You cannot do it. We're reaching the point in time when you have to confront the Synagogue of Satan. It is what it is.
What happens though? And we get these comments. You're anti-Semitic, Rick. You're anti-Semitic.
I'm anti-Satan.
What's worrying there is he effectively called on every preacher in America to start spouting hate.
To turn against
Synagogue of Satan. I mean, yeah, alright. He's second in a minute. First guy's winning.
Yeah. Filthy, raunchy movies.
He's just
Synagogue of Satan.
He's just saying that because he's a bit of a fucking twat, isn't he? He believes that. That's his version of Christianity.
Look, I love the frame that it's paused on right now. I know the listener can't see it, but he just looks like an evil, fucking shitty little man, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Just a shitty man.
Alright, what I want to tell you is Alex has got to pull something in a fucking bag to be the first guy.
Well, pressure's on, but he has been known to perform well under
He
pressure.
certainly has. Okay, what we got, Mike?
Okay, in this clip, Alex is impersonating Virginia Governor Ralph Northam.
I don't know who that is,
Neither
but it's
do I.
still going to be funny, and I know it.
Okay, well, alright, spin that shit.
We keep the babies alive after they're born and have a discussion. They're getting caught now because we decompartmentalized.
Didn't see
we
that,
keep them comfortable.
But I am very, very concerned with late-term abortions.
We don't want this 3-minute clip. Pull it up. We don't want the government involved. The doctors and the mother who's drugged up, you didn't say that, are going to decide about the future. And maybe she keep baby alive a week. Maybe she decided to get rid of baby. He goes, well, sometimes a baby sometimes the baby is deformed. No, they want the organs. If they can kill a baby after it's born, because sometimes they're deformed. You don't see it, sometimes they're deformed. Here's the key. They're like, why are we wasting this 7 pounds of meat? Where they go, oh, we consider the baby dead. The mother decided it didn't live. If she decides we resuscitate and it lives, but it didn't resuscitate, it's flesh, it's a legalese, it's passed into a special ward with doctors that make a few million a year, and the little flesh ball is kept alive and comfortable until all the orders come in, the planes land, and they take the organs, then they take the blood, and they take the skin, Joe. You see how it works? Now you know
You're freaking
why.
me out with his voice.
No, but see, it's a southern loving voice. Say 5 lives, make him comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was also insane.
I have to say, in the wider context of that, because I've watched that listened to it and watched that podcast. It was from his most recent Joe Rogan, because it's fucking wonderful.
Yeah.
But that's one of the bits where they actually played a clip later on of somebody saying, not confirming exactly what Alex is saying there, but there's definitely some weird shit going on.
Yeah.
With babies. And the guy says something, oh fuck. Look it up yourself, listener. Remember, you were the fact checker.
How late term are we talking here?
Well, the baby's born.
So the baby's born, then they kill it.
Or let it die.
It's not really an abortion then, is
It's
it?
deformed or whatever.
Or don't
and they-
resuscitate it.
Yeah.
Or get the mother's permission. Either way, they want fresh. As soon as they get it, the organs are harvested.
They take the baby away, so we'll take the baby away. And then
Yeah, and they
give it to doctors.
and all that, and
They take the organs and the blood.
I'll give it to Dick Cheney.
Because apparently,
I thought Dick Cheney just sucked the chest cavity dry.
Alex does say that. No, I'm not saying I believe in this, but
Imagine fucking Dick Cheney walking out of a hospital room covered in blood and
with a newborn.
well, you just
his
like,
hand.
there goes Dick.
Yeah.
That's Dick.
Won't be surprised.
But, apparently, according to Alex, the robbing of organs by doctors in hospitals in the States, who then make a lot of money on the side from the black market, because there is a black market for organs, isn't there? As far as I know. Apparently, it's a thing that's happened for years. But I don't know. I can't prove any of that. I think the first guy still got it.
Yeah, me too.
For me this week, because
Bobby Connor.
Bobby Connor, the prophet, Bobby Connor. I think he
sounds like a fucking
He
wrestler.
stopped a fucking tornado by going outside. He stopped a tornado by going out and prophesizing against it.
Yeah.
And then the God told him that if he didn't, loads of people would get hurt or die. We don't know.
He's either a liar, a bare-faced fucking liar, or he's utterly delusional and he genuinely believes the tornado died down because of his prayers.
I think it's a bit of both.
I think he's fucking
He's won it for me.
charlatan,
He's-
fucking
yeah.
liar, piece of shit.
He has
fucking
won it for me.
arsehole,
Newcomer Bobby
prick.
Connor wins it then.
First time in a while, newcomer wins it.
Yep.
And if we can get the prophet Bobby Connor on a bit more often, I think he may.
He went full Alex. And he won.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think that concludes our episode. It's been fun.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
I love a good shootout.
Who doesn't?
There we go. Do you want to do your thing, Ben?
Right, so in conclusion, well, it's a fantastic shootout, movie style shootout.
Yeah.
Newcomer wins for Alex. It's a night of magic.
On that note.
And on that note, so I've been Ben. Don't drink the flavour, don't join the cult. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, I've been Gaz, Free Biff Tannen. Thanks for listening.
I've been Mike. Thanks for listening. Peace out. May the force be with you.